In this video, I'll walk you through the exact steps and resources that I used to renew my PMP certification. So the PMP certification, it's one of the gold standards in project management and certainly takes quite a bit of effort to pass. So once you pass your PMP, you get awarded your certificate and it's valid for 3 years. So after 3 years, there are additional requirements that you need to complete in order to remain eligible. Because I passed my PMP in 2023, I naturally started getting email notifications saying that my PMP was expiring in January of 2026. So this video is for anyone who is looking to renew their PMP certification. I'll break this video down into 3 parts. Part 1, what are the requirements in order to renew your certification? Part 2, the exact resources and what I actually submitted to get approval. And then part 3, the exact cost breakdown. So in order to renew your PMP certification, you need to complete some trainings. This is broken down into what's called a PDU. So PDU means Professional Development Unit. So in order to renew your PMP, you need to have 60 PDUs. Of the 60 PDUs, 35 of those need to be related to education. So whether it's a webinar, an official training course, a Udemy class, anything that is trackable that PMI has to approve. Of the 60, 35 of those need to be education related, and you can do up to 25 related to giving back. So whether it's, you being involved in training others, creating content, something to that nature. So here are the exact resources that I used. I'm gonna first focus on giving back, and then we'll talk about education. So for giving back, there are 5 buckets. So you're able to claim your work as a practitioner. So if you do project management related work or you are operating as a project manager, then certainly that's something that you're able to submit. You're able to create content. So whether it's videos, books, etc., you can give presentations, you can further share knowledge, and you're able to also volunteer without compensation. So those are the 5 ways in which you can give back to fulfill up to 25 PDUs. So personally, I fulfilled 25 PDUs in terms of giving back by submitting that I created content, right? So for YouTube, I've created many project management videos over the years, whether it's 50 industry terms to breaking down the PM box. There's been a lot of videos, a lot of content I've created over the last 3 years, and I basically just submitted URLs, links to all the content, and in essence, it has probably taken me hundreds of hours in order to do research, to produce the content. That's how I obtained 25 of my PDUs. For the remaining 35 PDUs via education, here's exactly what I did. Out of those 35 PDUs, 18 of those I submitted by completing free e-learning webinars and classes on PMI's website. There are many different ways in which you can fulfill this. You can purchase a Udemy course, you can purchase their content. I personally am not a PMI member, so I don't have access to all their exclusive quizzes and all that stuff. So what I literally did was, I went on PMI's website, I clicked on the free e-learnings, and I literally watched and I completed the quizzes for every single free e-learning that I possibly could. Thankfully, there were around 18 PDUs worth of free e-learning credit that PMI publishes online, free for anyone to access. You don't need to be a member. Basically spent countless hours looking through these presentations, really ingesting the content, and then in order to get credit, you need to pass their final quiz or their final list of questions that they ask you. And once those are completed, you're able to submit and report the PDU, or they automatically get added to your account. 18 of my PDUs I did using free e-learnings. I would highly encourage anyone who's on a budget or anyone who just doesn't want to pay for content to just use that. It's free, it's out there, it's made by the makers of the PMP, so it's good stuff. Okay, so that leaves 17 PDUs left. I actually completed 18 PDUs, and I did this through what I call informal learning. So under the education section, there is a subgroup titled informal learning. I submitted and got 18 PDUs approved, completing informal learning, which means really structured knowledge sharing meetings, discussions, dedicated points of time where I either trained other project managers, I was a mentor, I contributed to knowledge sharing, to training others, to spreading project management information. This I submitted just due to the nature of the work that I do. On a weekly basis, I'm constantly training, working with others, spreading project management tips, tools, principles, building playbooks, building structures internally, knowledge sharing, all that stuff. So it was very easy for me to report 18 PDUs. I just recorded the exact intervals, the exact cadences in which I shared the knowledge, what knowledge I shared, and some of the outcomes as well. Okay, let's dive into part 3. So how much did it cost me? Well, in order to get my PDUs, to hit the 60 PDUs, it cost me nothing. It just cost me my time. I didn't pay for any resources. Most of the PDUs I obtained through the content that I created, through the work that I actually do as a project manager, and through free e-learnings and quizzes and trainings that I completed on PMI's website. Now, the actual certification, it does cost money in order for you to renew it. I am personally not a PMI member, so it cost me $150 flat in order to renew my certification for the next 3 years. If you are already a PMI member, then it's just $60 every 3 years to renew your certification. With that being said though, being a PMI member, there is an annual fee. So I believe it's around $130 per year in order for you to renew your access to, their exclusive content. Personally, I decided not to be a member. I don't typically reference or utilize the resources they offer, so it just didn't make sense to me. So let's recap in just a few minutes. The PMP, it's a pretty difficult exam. If you've dedicated the time, effort, and resources to passing it, you probably are invested in being recertified and don't want it to expire. In order to renew your PMP, you need to complete what PMI calls 60 PDUs. 60 PDUs can be really intimidating, but it doesn't have to be that way. 18 of the PDUs through free e-learning courses and quizzes on PMI's website. 18 PDUs I submitted and got approved from knowledge sharing, training other project managers, and then the remaining 25 PDUs I completed through creating content. On my YouTube channel, I make content to hopefully knowledge share with you guys so you guys can learn something. And overall, even though 60 PDUs is a big number, it is very achievable. Can take a bit of time, but you don't need to pay for anything in order to get your 60 PDUs.